Guy speaks. I am your host, Tony G, and we are about to get started today. I thought it would be a good time to talk about the Rhino conservative neocon. Rhinos. You guys know who those are, right? Republicans, and then we're going to talk versus what we call the MAGA, Make America Great Again Republicans, and there are a difference between the two. And the question is going to be, can someone be a conservative and not be MAGA? And that is another question. Can someone be conservative and not a MAGA Republican and things? We're gonna find that out too. But we're gonna go ahead and get started and things. So talking about the two, and it doesn't look like I have any viewers yet. We'll see. I'll just make this as a video, but let's go ahead and go into it though. So we're going to be talking about the neocon conservative Rhino Republicans. That's why you see Leah Cheney. She is the embodiment of what we call the rhinos, right? The neocon conservative, racist. You know, these are the people here that they're also elitist. So and also they also share the same viewpoints as the Democratic or demo KKK rats that we call Democrats. They share the same elitist mindset. So we're going to be talking about that today and things. So we got to know what the differences are. And I believe by now people aren't aware of what these differences are between the two. So um, we already know neocons, they love war, right? As well. These rhino conservative elitist claim to be Republican, right? Yeah, they love the war. This is why Trump accused Liz Cheney for being a war hawk, and she's not the only one. You got Mitt Romney, uh, John McCain, Liz Cheney daddy, which is Dick Cheney, he was the guy that was the brains behind George W. George, George Bush Jr., right? He was the one that was really running the country. And what he wanted to push was war, 9/11, Iraq, Desert Storm, and all the rest of them, right? The Cheneys have made billions of dollars. Halliburton, which is a company of theirs that was created, and then they also hold the largest military contract in U.S. history. So these are things factually said about the Cheneys. You know, they these neocons, rhino conservatives, have taken over the regular Republican Party. It was a safe haven for them to duck and hide. And since they have ducked and hide in regards to the original Republican Party, and I believe it happened around the 70s that it was taken over. Talking about the rhino neocon Republicans, right? And this is why the people on the left call these rhino neocon racists. You know what? This is one of the main reasons why it leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, especially the so-called black community and things. So, and the propaganda that they push is war, war, and war. So all they care about is if we're in peacetime, let's go ahead and create a situation, right? Which is war. War hawks, war with the rhino, conservative Republicans. This is what they believe in. They absolutely are nothing more than elitists. haters. It's what they are. This is exactly what they are. And unfortunately, they have a unholy alliance with the left. What is it? The demo KKK rats. They have an unholy alliance with them. An unholy alliance with the CIA, FBI, CIA, FBI. They have an unholy alliance with these types of people, right? And they also have an unholy alliance with the military industrial complex. So when I'm calling out these rhino racist, right, as I mentioned before, these are the ones that I mean, people that were Republican, right? Because everybody that's a Republican doesn't share the same mindset as being an elitist, right? And a racist and for war. Because to be Republican back then, if you are part of that group, if you're making millions and billions of dollars and you share the same viewpoints as some of these or most of these rhino Republicans, then I could understand you want to join on to that particular group. And I'm talking about outside of MAGA right now, right? Talking about the Republicans. Now, I did a video about this a while back, explaining how the Republican Party was started and who helped start the Republican Party. And yes, once again, a lot of African Americans and the Whigs. I mean, yeah, they both started what we call the Republican Party, and it was really designed to stop slavery. You know what I'm saying? So that's exactly what it is to stop it from spreading to the West. This is why, if you look in the history, right, when it come down to African Americans or blacks or whatever you want to call us, you will notice that they have voted, what is it, well over 50%. Majority of the time, blacks were what they called the Republicans. This was way before the neocons. This was way before the racist um, Republicans that have taken over the regular Republican Party. Martin Luther King was a Republican. There's many others that were Republican. There's a list of black Republicans, and there was many of them because they understood. The reason why a lot of blacks joined as well because Abraham Lincoln was a Republican, right? So when he freed the slaves, guess what? A lot of blacks understood the history. In fact, they understood the history more so back then than they do today, you know. But I believe in the 70s when the party was hijacked. I'm talking about the Republican Party when it was hijacked. This is where you got your racist, neocon, rhino, warhawk type, elitist mentality type Republicans, right? That have joined on board and joined and, became what we call the Republican Party. And when you look at black folks and other minority groups, they steer far away from Republican. They don't want to be associated with anything. Unfortunately, it left a lot of bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. It really did because of people like Leah Cheney, John McCain, Mitt Romney. These are all elitists. And there's many others. Mitch McConnell, right? You know what I'm saying? These are all the elitists. They do not share the same values as the Americans. They align themselves with who? The unholy alliance again. Let's go in and name it. We're talking about the unholy alliance with the Rhino Republicans, with the CIA, FBI, right? Right off the back. There's a lot of other unholy alliances that they have set up as well too. This is one of the main reasons. Look at how corrupt the FBI is right now and who's been running it. You know, they have an unholy alliance with the demo KKK rats as well too. Those are elitists. I'm talking about the demo rat crats elitists, right? They both have the same thing in common. I'm talking about Rhino Republicans and Democrat, right? They're nothing more than the same wing on that bird. It's true. That's exactly what it is. This is why we have the highest corruption when it come down to our legal system. You know there's something wrong when they go after attorneys who represent people that they don't like. Now, look, make that make sense, ladies and gentlemen. Make that, it's just like I'm saying, if I'm over here as a lawyer supporting someone that the opposite parties do not like, they go after their attorneys too. What kind of what kind of ish is that, right? And then they make all this unholy alliance with the military industrial complex. Do you guys realize that Halliburton that was created under Dick Cheney, he was the one responsible for that? Do you know that he holds the largest military contract in U.S. history? Halliburton is the largest, right? So there's another unholy alliance, right? So I'm walking this stuff down. Can somebody be a conservative and not be a MAGA? Absolutely. In things. I mean, as far as my opinion, they can. But the conservative is even a bad word. They look at conservatism, right? Look at what's going on, right? They have polluted that word. They have polluted Republican, and they done it purposely, right? And I'm encouraging you guys, and I welcome you guys in the chat. I'm encouraging the guys. I'm encouraging you guys to read the book called the Operation Gladio. Please read that book. Some of you guys may be already familiar with it or in your library. Operation Gladio. It talks about the unholy alliance between who, right? We talk about the Vatican, we talk about the CIA, and we also talk about the mafia. That is the trinity right there of what we call the unholy alliance, right? This is exactly what it is. This is what MAGA is up against. So that way you guys will be more know who the deep state and who's running it, right? And like I said, people like Mick Romney, I mean, you know what I'm saying? And we got there's a lot of other people. They all have this unholy alliance with each other. This is why when it was the Unit Party, we never benefit from it as being voting Republican, right? We never benefit from it. Bush was nothing more than part of the same elitist group. Let's keep it real. We can go back, right? These ain't nothing but elitists, just like you have the elitists on the Democrats, where a lot of people that voted Democrat, blue collar, all this other stuff, care about the middleman. I mean, you know what I'm saying? When you're also have an unholy alliance with the military industrial complex, telling poor people that rich conservative white people are the enemy, and this is why poor are poor today because of rich white conservative men. And look at the on the Democrat side as well. You also have rich white elites, right? That have suppressed and oppressed. They suppress free flow of information, knowledge, right? They also control, unfortunately, the healthcare system. And this is from the both of the parties. I'm talking about Rhino Republicans. And I'm also talking about the Dem elites. Both of them share the same personal interests at heart. If you guys ever check out the Georgia Guidestones, I encourage you guys to check that out too. Look at that. Population, right? They want to control population. They want to control every aspect of our lives, right? This is what's going on right now. Do we have transparency in the government? Absolutely not. Because of those bastards. That's why I say I call them out. No, they don't want to talk to me at all. They don't want to talk to people that are free thinkers, people that can challenge their ruling. They don't want people like that. They don't want to deal with people like that. They want the TikTok and all the rest of these people, right? They want people that just do not know anything about how the government works. I did a series of shorts. You should be watching the shorts. I made it even easier. I talked about the Federal Reserve Bank in like less than 60 seconds for those that can pull that up. You can go in there and just watch it. and understand how the system works. And this is exactly what it is. If you're not convinced and you don't want to know by now, and I'm only talking about the left. I haven't get on the right yet, but everything on the left is doom and gloom. You know, this is exactly what it is. You think that you may like somebody. What's the guy I keep bringing up? Mitt Romney, right? The senator over Massachusetts, right? You know that guy, right? And let me tell you this: the Senate is one of the most powerfulest chess pieces on the chessboard. There's no wonder why people are lawyers. Majority of senators all hold law degrees. They put this stuff in legal needs, right, on purpose, right? Look at it. It's a correlation with them. You know, the Senate is the most powerful. I heard many of us say, "Well, yeah, there should be term limits on the Senate." It would never happen, ladies and gentlemen. Do you absolutely think that the Senate is going to vote against their best interests? Absolutely not. It would never happen. What the founder and fathers forgot to look at is the fact about they never saw, and nobody's perfect, but they never saw that the country, right, will be overtaken by its own, which is the military industrial complex. They never saw it. The only person that saw it and experienced it was Eisenhower. He was the one that experienced it. He told Patton, told the General Patton and the people who the real enemy of the people are. It's the military industrial complex. They are the enemy to the people in all our way of life. Not Donald Trump, because I can battle that. You know, if you want to step in the room and if you got something that you think I'm lying. I mean, Operation Gladio, as I mentioned before, it breaks all this stuff down for these naysayers. Because I really like to hear from the naysayers, That's who I really want. Not for people that's on board with it. It's smart people. I'm talking about the naysayers, the ones that refuse to come in here and have a real discussion. You know, we over here talking about what they have done, right? And things like that. You ain't calling out the CIA, FBI. These are unconstitutional organizations. I did a video about that as well. I just have to break stuff down. If you want it in a simpler form and less lengthy, I can do that too. Because by now, all Americans should know by now that the CIA is not the government. It wasn't passed through Congress. FBI was not passed through Congress. CIA, as I said before, is not passed through Congress. FBI, not passed in Congress, right? The IRS was not passed through Congress. It wasn't passed through it. It has to come from the people to the Congress. I even did, you remember, if some of you guys been rocking with me, 3 branches of government, I did a short on that. That started picking up traction for some reason. It started picking up some traction, which is cool. I always appreciate it. If I have to do this stuff in a short, I will. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do all this ish in a short. I can break down that. I can talk about Operation Gladio, and I can break it down into short since people don't like to read no more, which is sad. So I think that's exactly what I'm going to do, because you have to know who the real enemy is to the people. And by now, it should not be a doubt who the enemy is to the people. We are looking for better ways and better change, though. This is what should happen. I get some of these fools in these other live stream chats talking about, how they, it's always some type of nitpick about Trump, where you should be on, most of you guys should be on we should be talking about these people. But the reason that the most of the people don't talk about CIA, FBI, and all the rest of them, because they're too afraid. And when your people are afraid of their own government, it's called tyranny. Once a famous wise person, the founder and fathers have mentioned, I'm trying to recall his name, could be Samuel Adams is one of them, But at any event, if you're afraid of your own effing government, that's tyranny. We have been terrorized, fake, right? Proxy wars and all this other crap, right? All for funding, all for personal funding. Because whatever war, whatever it's what they claim as terrorists, it's all about the funding. This is what the elites do. They don't consider us part of their world like that. I don't want to be, right? This is what they do. And there should be more talks about this. I'm beginning to wonder, like, why are we not talking about what's behind the veil? Why are we over here perpetrating and fronting like this other crap means something? Well, what I'm talking about got going on right here is the crust of what we're up against. You do realize this, right? This is a globalist agenda. This is not no just local. The CIA, someone just said, for those that didn't watch the video, let me go ahead and repeat it again. The CIA was created by Skull and Bones of Yale University. There is a movie that referenced what I'm making a point on. It's called The Good Shepherd by Matt Damon, for his earlier works, which was a good movie. I would suggest for those that are in doubt or not, watch it for the entertainment, and you will see a little bit of the skull and bones, the rituals that they go through, and all that. They are a secret society. People like your Bushes, senior, junior, some of your Bushes were part of that skull and bones. John McCain, yeah, John, no, not John McCain, but John Kerry. He is also a bonesman. There's many others, right? And you start to see that a little bit. And then what is it? They also talk about what along with that? They have drafted and created the CIA in secrecy before it became a thing. This is actually factually true. That's why I said that the CIA has never been passed through Congress because it wasn't something that the people wanted. We already had the U.S. Marshals. Guess what? The U.S. Marshals was passed by who? Congress. To really be honest with you, the U.S. Marshals have the jurisdiction as well as the supremacy over a lot of these other fake three-digit or not digit, but three-letter alphabet boy groups, right? Because a lot of them was not, they didn't pass through Congress. They're all unconstitutional. Go and look up the history. The CIA was created by Skull and Bones, 1913, right? FBI too, 1913. They're a little bit different, but they're nothing but a local offshoot. While the other one, same agenda, but all of this came up under the Federal Reserve Bank. That's why we have the IRS to squeeze the money and taxes from its citizens. Do you know that the taxes has also never been passed through Congress? There's a book called The Creatures of Jekyll Island. This is exactly what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in because it might have went dark a little bit. You know, I stay on this stuff and make people be reminded of our history and stuff. It wasn't do this stuff as well either, man. You know, but right now, this is what we have. What we're coming under right now. We are coming under this with the conservatives working along with the Democrats, which is the same thing, the Uniparty. This is what we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. Straight like that. Straight like that. So, what else? So let's go ahead and go down further down the list here before I even go about MAGA. Right now, all this that we're dealing with, as I mentioned before, these unholy alliances, all these unholy alliances that's going on right now. You start to hear more and more about terrorist attacks. You're starting to hear, what did they just announce that they supposed to have found explosive devices that was coming from a FBI agent, basically? Because the only people that have access to that, C4 and all the rest of them, they have access to it. Don't nobody on the street have access to that. Military grade explosives, come on now. We don't have access to that type of stuff. How is this guy that did this killing, the dude that was a green beret or something like that? and wants to do supposed to have a fixed 50 caliber type of who owns a 50 cal other than the military? You can I buy a 50 cal off the street? You know, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like I said, a lot of the stuff is nothing more. We're being played, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, I'm really looking for my detractors, and I'm looking for people that don't agree. You know, I don't know where MC at. MC been hiding lately. He's one of my detractors. You know, but Mr. Marine man, you know, because most of the people in the military I have great respect for. I have friends that are in the military, all branches. You know, so, like I said, these are the things that we supposed to be learning about and know about. Unfortunately, with the children, they don't know anything about this. This was done purposely. You have to make your children be aware of this stuff. They have to know the harsh, cold facts of how our country was, how it was. You should be able to explain how it was then, because history always leave footprints. It ain't like, oh, it's history. That happened a long time ago. People always write their history down. That's why it's called history. So we should be learning about that. That's how when I went in and started finding out this stuff, and it was fascinating to me. I'm already a history buff anyway. I just like history. I'm not an expert at it, but I can recall dates and things and time or whatever. Just like with the tariff things that what Trump was doing, right? All he's doing is repeating Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson had to fight off the deep state even then, because if you look at our history, there was a tariff, the tariff of 1870, with 1870 to 1913. All that from that time span, America made it off of tariffs, plain and simple. And you know what wasn't what the people were doing and paying? They weren't paying taxes. They was not paying taxes. There was no income tax. There was no taxes. This is a fact. There was no taxes. This is another thing. The IRS is an unlawful organization, and what they're doing are criminal. We have allowed a private banking institution to touch foot in our government, in our republic, right? They have set this stuff up purposely. They have changed things, ratified, things of our Bill of Rights, changed stuff around on the amendment. They rewrote the 16th Amendment. Mm-hmm. Yep. They rewrote the 16th Amendment. They rewrote it. So yeah, so that's why, I'm talking like this right now. It's just really sad though that you know, the detractors, they won't come in here and deal with this type of fact. They want to do is they want to talk more and more and more about um what Trump doing and all this other stuff. This is what they like to do. They do this for a reason and a purpose to keep you derailed from the truth. I don't hear too many people talking about Operation Gladio. I don't hear people talk about the Federal Reserve very much. I don't see people talking about the CIA. It's like, what you afraid of? Huh? What you afraid of? You big and bad about against MAGA. You should be big and bad about this other stuff. Big and bad about that. You won't deal with it and talk about it. You try to pick your battles and pick your wars, right? This is exactly what it is. Yep. Yep. So that's exactly what it is. Yep. That's exactly what it is. All right, didn't want to sneeze in front of people and things. As you can hear, I'm sounding a lot better, sounding more like myself than before, you know. Yeah. But at any event, you know, and for those that came in the room to listen to what I got to say, some of this may be like old hat to you. Some of you just say, well, you know, I'm not in this country, so it doesn't even bother, you know, I'm not really concerned about that. Or, you know, it just said, well, I already know this stuff. And I appreciate the thumbs up. I appreciate that as well. Let's go ahead and continue down the road. So I think I banged on the Rhino conservatives. I think I banged on them enough. I think so. Do I need to go more? Do I need to talk more about the rhinos even further? The racist elitists that don't care about. By the way, uh, the rhino Republican conservative neocons, war hawks, they don't care nothing about America. They are anti-American, anti. Uh, they're anti-American is a better term for them. That's perfect. What they should be labeled. We should be calling out the rhino Republicans, just like I say, call out the Dem elites, Democratic elites. They are anti-American. They the ones that stand by the CIA, FBI, corrupt Senate, right? They the ones that stand by the war hawking that's been going on. This is anti-American. America should have been America first from day one. And you don't even hear these rhino old, right? Been in there, been in as a politician for eons, you know, just spending and wasting money on the taxpayers' expense. That's how America right now. America have succumbed to being nothing more than a big debt. It just said F you to the American people. You know what's the government spending is the number one thing. It's the government spending. They are the ones that have allowed this to happen. Government spending. They didn't allow that their Federal Reserve Bank that's not even constitutional to sit up here and print money up the wazoo. They also were the ones responsible of removing us off the gold standard as well. They were the one. The Gold Act of 1934. FDR. Wasn't he a demo rat? Yes, he was. You know, yes, he was. Go and look in your history. You should Google that. You think I'm lying? Google this stuff. I've given you a lot of meat and some potatoes too. So go and look at it. Look it up. Look it up. This is what's going on and what's happening. And this room should be filled up in here with people. But this is what it is. I know people are at work, but everybody is not at work. There's people that work from home. And I appreciate you if you're rocking out, listening to me. Because make no mistakes about it, I'm going to continue doing what I do. I don't care who doesn't like it. Because one thing about it is that at least that I'm trying to educate others that are unwilling to pick up a book or unwilling to read. At least I'm trying to do my part by getting this information out to the public for other people to be able to understand. That's all I'm basically doing is sharing information, right? Under the First Amendment right. And we have to be able to be reminded of that. You know, they can do this to a president, they can do this to any of you guys. Don't think that you're immune because it's just him. They can come after any one of you. Just being really honest. You're not immune. You know, I don't have a dog in the fight anyway. I'm just some random guy. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. I hold no political power, right? At all. But what I say, you know, what I'm saying right now can be powerful enough for those that are be willing to listen. Those should be willing to listen. I don't care if I have 1 view or 100 views, which I have had before, but I want you guys to look at it. I've been talking about the rhinos, and everything I said is absolutely true. Now, I don't know anybody in this room that are a Rhino Republican. If you are, just put a 1 down. I'm very interested. I really would like to have a conversation because being a Rhino is like, what are you saying? Saying that to say what? Because unless if you are an elitist, and I doubt it if an elitist is going to be on my channel looking at what I got to say. They say this guy ain't even worth, the steak ain't even worth the sizzle. Why he's going to have 1 or 2 votes? Who is this guy talking to? They consider this as a nobody channel, right? And I could have created my channel and called it the Nobody channel, Mr. Nobody. I do like that. I think I'm gonna do that as an AKA Mr. Nobody. Yeah, so this is Mr. Nobody, AKA some random guy speaks. So what does Mr. Nobody has to say? I said a lot so far in the past 36 minutes. Mr. No, who listens to a Mr. Nobody? Nobody. Most people don't care to listen to a Mr. Nobody, but I don't care about that. It's what I have to say is most important. So this is not going to be a long live stream. I just want to point that out. Now let's go about the MAGAs. Then I'm out. Now let's talk about MAGA. I talked enough about the rhinos, banged on them, and so forth. Who is MAGA? What is MAGA? MAGA is Make America Great Again. This is about people that choose America first, right? These are the people that care about America, care about the Constitution, care about our gun rights and gun laws, right? These are the people that care about making America great again. We are the ones that are anti-establishment, anti-deep state, anti-tyrannical government, right? Anti-war, right? Anti-globalist, right? We're going down the list now. I'm gonna walk it on down. You know, we are the ones to be MAGA is not a bunch of bigots. We have people in the LGBTQ community that are MAGA. We have people in all walks of life that are MAGA. If you stand for America and if you stand for freedom and liberty and the pursuit of happiness, that makes you a MAGA too. I'm sure that any of you do not welcome war. I'm sure any of you do not want depopulation throughout our globe. I'm sure that you don't want to be under some type of tyrannical government. If you say yes to all of that, that makes you a MAGA. That makes you make America great again. We stand against tyranny. We stand against the war hawks. We stand against war, crime, drugs. We stand against human trafficking. You know what the other word I can't say. I just say peds. You know what I'm talking about. We stand against all this type of stuff. We stand against crooked, wicked Hollywood and Disney. We stand against that type of stuff. We stand against the music industry. We stand against Diddy. We stand against this type of stuff, right? I'm just going down the list of what we don't stand for, right? We stand for family values, right? We stand for, in the respect of a lot of people's different religion, because freedom and liberty does require that. If you are constitutionalist and you come into this country the right way, coming through the right pathway of citizenship, and you American and you stand for these other things that I just named that make you a MAGA, right? That's exactly what it is. MAGA, make America great again. We don't stand with tyranny. We are against it. We are going back to the Constitution, right? We are going back to the precious metals, the Gold Act. We're going back to the way that how this country was supposed to be ran. We're going to eliminate these crooked people in the White House. We're going to eliminate these people that sit up here controlling the CIA and the FBI. Because, like I said before, those are unlawful, unconstitutional organizations. We're going to go back to those good old days with family values. Religion will be respected. We already destroyed woke and on these other type of agendas, right? Right? So that's exactly what it is. Now, some of you guys, y'all thinking about you now when you hear me say the word woke, you all some of you really don't understand really what that really is, right? This was introduced by Obama when he first came around. It started out as what Obama did to make it really, really simple is, and I did a big old live about this before. It was about making what? Making what is it? The LGBTQ community. He has weaponized this group. This group has been weaponized at no fault to their own. When the LGBTQ community was weaponized by who? Obama. Obama pushed agendas to the world under woke. We're talking about the political woke, right? And this is what Obama did. He weaponized that group. He took these people and pushed an agenda behind them, which was in the process of destroying our family values. They went after religion. They went after anybody that spoke out against woke. This also came by the left with the rhinos included. This is what they end up doing, right? To put more control and push this agenda. This is what ended up happening, right? This is what happened. This is the truth. So I'm glad that you guys that came in, listened to what I had to say real quick and bounced out. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Because when I don't get no response, I think I'm kind of talking to an echo chamber. I think this is like a lot of old hat stuff for a lot of you people. I was really looking for my detractors to come in here and talk about this stuff, but in true form, they don't come in this room. You know, they don't like to come in here. I really wanted to have the conversation. They really don't want to have the conversation at all. And the thing about it is, it's simply this, as I stated before, because I'm talking about MAGA right now, and I'm already walking down on all the things that we stand for, and all walks of life supports MAGA, even though they're trying to pollute MAGA, try to call them a bunch of racists. I already went over that already. All that came from the left and the Rhino Republic. All that came on the left side. Rhino just simply mean nothing more than a Democrat. That's all they are. Liz Cheney has never been a Republican. She always been a Democrat. That's what people are finding out now. Her and her father, they have the same views as the rest of the elitists. Her and her daddy, when they created Halliburton, who held the largest military contract in U.S. history. How is that possible? Right? This is what ended up happening. Halliburton. How is that possible? And we've been in war ever since. War with Iraq, right? War with Afghanistan. You realize how much money that was actually made off those wars. It didn't go back to the American people. It went in these people's pockets. Everybody got paid. They took it over the oil reserves over there. There's been destabilization in the Middle East ever since. Running dope, Afghanistan, right? This is what our CIA boys has been up to. Wait till all this stuff come out. It's what they've been up to. It's what they've been up to. They won't come in this room. They will not do it. So that's cool. I'm going to end the live. They got to say it without enough that needs to be said. You guys take care. Have a wonderful day. And I'll see you on the next podcast. Peace. Or I should say the next live. Peace.